Unglamorous businesses that make lots of money. Any ideas? Considering selling tires, doors, lights, furniture, beds, insurance, etc. I'm an accountant and deal with a number of businesses. All of the items on your list are quite competitive. My recommendation is a funeral home. The funeral homes that I do the accounts for are very profitable. It can be a difficult business to market and retain customers for obvious reasons, but if you can be successful in these aspects, the margins are extremely high as cost is not the typical deciding factor for people. I had a client who owned massage chairs in shopping centers. Made about $250K profit a year, and all they did was organize Armaguard to pick up the money, negotiate locations and rent, and keep repairs up. Done well, those require long hours, maintaining physical premises, employing and managing staff, and probably putting a lot of your time into the business. My tire place is a franchise, but I wouldn't go anywhere else. The franchisee is in early, out late, and holds his team to high standards. I'm sure he does pretty well for himself, but he works hard for it. Just cleaning at fixed cost per specified job. If you run it right, getting the job done is far quicker than by the hour and it's self-renewing. Stuff always gets dirty again next week. Dog groomers always seem to be busy, not sure if that's unglamorous enough though. Hair transplant clinic, or anything that has to do with medical and beauty, top money, and it's not going to end for at least 2-3 more decades. A friend of mine met a family whose business is putting clothes on clothes hangers in department stores. Just taking bulk boxes of inventory and putting them on coat hangers. Tiny slice of the supply chain, but huge business when you sum it up nationally. Car detailing, lawn mowing, pet grooming. Anything in this vein that you can charge $50 an hour for, not many overheads, and can easily fill your week with are all criminally underrated as good paying and flexible jobs. Forensic cleaning? A mate of mine deals with sewage pumping in outer Sydney with houses not on town water etc. Absolutely killing it, 25 years old, has houses, cars etc. Very smart with his money, but people need their shit literally taken off site. Have a mate who worked in scissor lift hire, very profitable, buy the lift and pay it off in a year, use it for another year then sell it at 80 of the new price. Skip bin hire and delivery services. I do tour guiding for cruise ship passengers. It's a side hustle for me, and very seasonal, but I net up to $1,000 a day plus tips. They're American and can have dozens of tours in a typical season. Funeral industry. Worked in it years ago. Steady stream of businesses. Pet death services, i.e. cremations, memorials, urns etc. I know a plumber that has expanded his business and has a multi-million-dollar house, sports car, etc. Cheap fast food franchises in regional centers. I have extended family that made a killing running 3-4 Domino's stores. Supplying and fitting 4x4 accessories. A good mate of mine works for one. I was quoted $14,000 to get a bunch of stuff on my ute, bull bar, suspension etc. His employee discount was applied and price was reduced by $3,500. That is just a portion of the profit margin and I still paid full price on the installation. It took one bloke 2 days to do the work. It's relatively simple work with massive profit margins. I'd love to see the numbers for my local car wash. It is so busy. I indulge in a $17 automatic car wash because I drive on our muddy property and want the underbody cleaned without getting myself dirty, and on the weekend I always have to queue behind at least one car. You're in there less than 5 minutes. They've got to be turning over the best part of a couple of $100 on just that equipment every hour. It's less busy during the week, but there's always someone there. Beauty therapist, as in, injecting Botox. Charging over $300 for 15-minute session. Looking after oldies on NDIS. Huge returns to be had. Metal recycling. We are on target to reach 10 million Australian dollars in revenue in less than a year with good margins. I met a guy who was in the confetti business. He was in his 30s and traveling around Australia because he didn't have to work anymore. Funeral homes. I work in e-waste and made $187K last year. Might not be a lot to some people, but I'm comfortable. Waste management. There's a company that sells vehicle tracking devices through a channel, a fake. There's no cost involved to you, they do all the marketing, lead gen, installations, the lot. They pay great commissions and residuals on every device you sell. We used them at our work. It turned out to be absolute rubbish, but the sales guy had a brand new AMG Merc. Teltrack Navman or something. Washing out garbage bins. Sewage pump trucks. Also, crime scene cleanup pays very well. I live in a high murder rate area, and the one guy that has the contract with the cops for crime scene cleanup does extremely well. Hookers and blow. Commercial cleaning. Huge margins, little working capital requirements. Charge for the fill to come in. You get money from the government for recycling the fill, and then you sell the fill after you have refined it, depending on what it is. Having a shaker to sift dirt into topsoil. Garden soil, topsoil goes for $500 cash for 10. That's the minimum. Guy paid $900 for 10 tons. Nail salons. Define lots of money. Mines contractors. Plumbers. Roofers. Niche industry, manufacturing. Farming. Waxing or other hair removal. Not sure exactly how profitable, but knew someone who worked in one. Lots of Brazilians on people who didn't give the right hygienic attention to their generals before going for said wax. Any business where you receive NDIS funding. Treat people like crap, but government will pay you a fortune. Find a common problem, e.g. more trash than bin space. Solve it in an effective manner. E.g. book an extra wheelie bin collection on your website. Insurance is right up there, but huge barriers to entry. I believe you need $10 million of capitalization to underwrite any kind of life products, for example. But once you're an insurance company, you basically just have an actuary tell you how much the policies will cost, and then decide how much money you want to make. The correct answer is, lots and lots. MetLife, the largest life insurer in the world, had something like $1 in cash, which it couldn't invest because it's too much money pre-GFC. And years before any of the tech companies achieved this status. NDIS provider, they are the new tradies. Liquid waste. Petrol stations. $10,000 on a strong day at one location. Max 2 staff members on per day. Operating costs may be high, but you control the price of petrol. I worked at one where there were 8 drinks fridges, because selling sugary drinks and cigarettes could add 30 to every day's profits. Dentistry is unglamorous and highly profitable. Most clinics make $2 million in a calendar year. 5-year degree. A dry cleaning transactional holding company. Crime scene cleaning. Smash repairs. Bird work. Can be seasonal though. Selling Vietnamese noodle, making $1 million. Gutter oil recyclers, mint gold. Mortgage broker. Listing stuff on Etsy, Amazon from Alibaba, Shine. Seems like being a landlord is an unglamorous business nowadays, and perhaps not that particularly productive too. For-profit youth residential care. Vulnerable kids who have been taken from their homes. You're tasked with looking after them, but make money by cutting corners on their care. You're given huge amounts of money by the government to look after them, and cut back on staff levels, pay peanuts, reduce food allowance, and generally look for ways to save a buck to improve your bottom line. Financial planning. Poultry farms. Start a business on the internet. A dry cleaning chemical transactional holding company. Iker, owner of a brothel and his driving an AMG. Don't know if the business is fully legit, but def looks like it makes a lot of money. Crime scene cleanup is lucrative if you're not squeamish and can get connections with cops, coroners.